All right, so into this session's lightning lesson on how to get a yes from your gems. So I would love to hear in the chat, these are our most common objectives that we hear from sales teams using UserGems. I just changed jobs and I am not ready to buy anything yet. I am not the decision maker for this product, like loved it, but you gotta hit up someone else. Sometimes they change jobs and the company they go to is completely outside of an ICP that you're ever sold to before. And sometimes a person changes a job and we surface it 6 months later because they didn't update their LinkedIn, or we weren't tracking them, and now that's a little bit of an older job change. So really curious, and I see some people in the chat have answered what is the most common objection you hear. I also think not a DM is probably the most common aside from UserGems, I think with any form of outbound. So we'll give you some tips here on how to navigate this along with all of the other ones. All right, so I'm not ready to buy. I just started. So if you are used to UserGems, you know that we try to surface job changes as soon as they happen. So this is really great because new executives changing jobs tend to spend their budget within the first 100 days. However, sometimes you might get them and they're like, I'm overwhelmed, I'm starting a new job, I'm analyzing our tech stack, I don't even know what my initiatives are, I'm still trying to plan that with my boss. Can you reach out to me in XYZ amount of time? So the way that we navigate this here at UserGems and the way that we found works best for our customers that kind of run into this objection is to, instead of pushing on getting the meeting, to offer some form of value that relates back to the service or the tool that you sell. So something that could work really well here is for UserGems, like we help new VP of sales hit their new logo goals, or we help marketers hit their pipeline gen numbers. Here's a piece of relevant content that is adjacent to UserGems that will help you within these first 30, 60, 90 days at your new job. And this is something to avoid friction. You'll notice that a lot of the UserGems messaging and the playbooks that we offer are quite long, sometimes up to 60 days. And this is to hit on that I'm not ready to buy, I'm starting a new role, I'm really overwhelmed type of response. So if you've tried that, they're still like, I still can't commit to anything. What we recommend is having some type of an automated nurture that is still adding relevant content and resources, not asking for a meeting. So this could be triggered off of a response that then an SDR will then hit something like check back later. And then that person can then go into a marketing nurture with relevant content. And then what we have our own ADRs do is they set a manual reminder to personally reach back out at the 30, 60, 90 day mark. And actually this snapshot, if anyone wants to take a screenshot of it, is from one of our ADRs and it works. Basically like, hey, and we talked a couple months ago, like as a reminder, we do this, like how's now to reconnect, very casual. It's not really asking too hard for a meeting and it's just a touch point. So this is from our own ADR team and this is how we reach back out to our UserGems. The most popular, I'm not a decision maker response, which we love. There's still a great way to utilize these individual contributors when they change jobs. So I'd love to hear it. Have you ever used an individual contributor or maybe like a mid-level manager as a pathway to break into a new account? Bonus points if this individual contributor was also a past user at one of your customers, and we're really advocating for you at their new account. So there's a few different ways that you can utilize this person. The first one being very obvious and asking for a referral to the decision maker. The way we here at run our UserGems playbook for ICs is very similar as the way that we run it for our closed one-off contacts, where we send still a congratulations. We do send a gift. It is not as expensive of a gift as a closed one-off contact that changes jobs, but we always start out the same way. And then we will ask for a referral for the DM. We'll ask them about their past experience with UserGems, see if they can talk through it with their team at their new company. Sometimes you can ask what types of products they're currently using, like what are your workflows look like? If they're really interested in talking to you, a lot of the times it's a lot easier to get these forms of information and like the workflows and pain points from the end users than the decision maker. So then what we can do with that is bring that then to the DM, and you don't have to use this person by name, but you can always mention like, oh, hey, like I worked with so-and-so on your team when they were back at X company. Like this is what the workflow currently looks like. This is what it could look like with my tool. But something, if you look at the screenshot here, this is again from our playbook for our ICs. Talk about like just asking them if it could be relevant to their new company's goals, and see if they have any feedback on a way to approach this new org while they're already in it, and probably have a little bit friendlier of a relationship with you or your product. Sometimes we do find some older job changes, especially if you remember just starting with UserGems. We do what's called like a big retro look back of your entire CRM, and we normally find out a giant chunk of these people have already changed jobs. So as you're sorting through your gems, you might find some that have a job started date older than 6 months ago. And in these cases, they're still really great people to reach out to. However, they are not new in role. So any type of like congratulations, throw it out the window, but definitely still reach out to them. In terms of like what you can do with them, you can still reference that past company. So it's been a while since you were at Acme. We miss you at Acme, like, oh, we're still working with Acme. They're doing XYZ. Like, do you still talk to anyone there? You can really take this sequence idea and pick at it and make it your own. But any type of reference to that past company is still relevant, just not recently. So omit the congrats, still reach out to them. If you are in marketing and joining this session, what's really popular would be to automate this. So this can be fully automated in some type of like a Marketo or even in an automated outreach or SalesLoft tool, just so the reps can kind of work inbound on it instead of having to really customize these outbound sequences. But don't skip out on the older job changes. They're still really great, and they can still be really great value props at their new company. This one goes two ways, and that is why there are two workflows on this screen. When I was in sales, well before UserGems, I always thought it was really weird to ask for referrals. So basically the scenario in this sense is someone changes jobs and they go to a company that you don't sell to. Maybe it's just like slightly outside of your ICP. Maybe it's like totally off the rails. But a really great play here would be to ask if they could introduce you to someone else in their network at a company that is one of your target companies or that you are interested in selling into. It's something that I was always really uncomfortable when I was in sales. And I think it's because you feel like you're bothering somebody. But I think a really great framework to get around that one would be to kind of reach out and have someone in mind that you'd like them to reach out to. So for example, if you go on LinkedIn and you go through their connections, if you are connected with them and find some of your target accounts, find somebody there that's relevant for you that you would want an introduction to. So instead of posing it as, can you introduce me to someone in your network? Can you introduce me to Bob from Acme? I've worked with this company in XYZ amount. Like I've been really trying to break into this. Amber, I think I see that like someone responded to this, but I can't see the answers.
Did that work?
No. Okay. Oh, no, I think it was just it's sharing the slides out after came in this one.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Hold on.
Oh, but I didn't see those either.
Sorry, guys, for the struggle bus.
We're trying out polls, and really hitting a road bump, but
Learning every day.
learning every day. So that's on asking for a referral. This is going to be a very interesting story, and some people are going to be like, I'm not doing that as the option to expand your ICP, and that's fine. But we had a really interesting conversation with Sprig, and Matt Avero-Strum joined me for a webinar over the summer on UserGems for PLG companies. And something that he talked about with UserGems and Sprig was that a lot of the gems or their past users were joining these companies that were like totally outside of their TAM. And what they did was they found ones that were kind of adjacent to their TAM and started asking them, like, what do these workflows look like for you? Like, what is the company moving towards, and how can Sprig help you? And what they found was that some of these companies that are not in their TAM are moving to more of a digital world. And now Sprig is really relevant for them. So it actually started to open up like a whole new section of accounts for them because they were starting to understand like where their users were going to, and trying to figure out like, how do we now sell into these types of accounts? So this one does take a little bit more of like research, and a little bit more of a conversation, and maybe a little bit of a less selling. So it could be something to talk about with your internal teams if you're starting to see UserGems go into really specific industries, and kind of ask yourself, why are they moving into these types of companies? And could this company type maybe be a good fit for our product next quarter, and 6 months, next year? So it is really a potential expansion within your TAM. But again, it is something that I think is a little bit like longer term strategy, but it's definitely not something to write off. I would definitely keep track of those, and see where your users and your champions are moving to. In terms of workflow, so we got a lot of questions, and something that I wanted to put into this session about like, I have all of these gems and now I have these objections, but like I don't really understand what I should be aiming for. So the way that we break this down is based on high priority user gems and then everyone else. And the way that we categorize high priority user gems is they match your buyer persona and they join an account that you care about. So whether you have a list of target accounts or high priority accounts, something that you work on maybe with sales and marketing together, anything like that. If you categorize this differently, absolutely feel free to do so. This is just by default. But these high priority gems should be actioned within 1 week. And by the way that we say actioned, it means added to a cadence, reached out to on LinkedIn, like have a call step, like there should be some form of interaction within a week of receiving these high priority gems. And we do say close to, if not 100% of these high priority gems should be actioned, because in theory, they are a buyer, and they do move to an account that makes sense. The difference here, again, from all gems could be anyone below the line, but they're still at relevant accounts. So kind of take out or totally beyond your ICP, around 40% of these should be actioned. And then in terms of activity, this is not a UserGem stat. This is a SalesLoft and outreach best practice. But they should have anywhere from 5 to 12 touch points. And we at UserGems use phone, email, and LinkedIn steps, both adding on LinkedIn, interacting with posts, and messaging. And we also have been having really great success recently with voice notes on LinkedIn. And I think I mentioned this a couple months back, but they're actually coming back again because I think they fell off, but I am in the AE channel here. And they have been having, again, really great success with those. So if it's been a while since you've sent a LinkedIn voice note, maybe pick it up again in Q4, because I think they're starting to come back. We have a couple dashboards on managing gems, and I know that we have a mix of maybe managers on like teams and then also individual contributors on this specific session. So I'm going to show two different dashboards. Our manager dashboard is a full view of your team, and you can see in terms of a breakdown of your reps, the number of activities that they have to make sure they're over that 5 activity minimum. And also you can see which high priority leads or contacts the team still has to reach out to. So it's a really great way to get a big like bird's eye view of your team's performance on UserGems. And then Amber, if we go to the next slide, you can also see an individual contributor dashboard, which has some of the same information in terms of breaking it out between high priority. So once again, your buyer that joins an account you care about, and then everyone else. So we break it down really nicely so you know where to start. And then we also show high priority contacts with low activities. So let's say as you're working through your workflows, you want to come in here once a week and just make sure no one's stuck in a sequence, or someone's at like a manual step and they're a little bit lost in whatever tool that you're using. This is a really great place to go in and be able to check. Something I did not include in this slide that if you are using our dashboards in Salesforce, I would recommend checking out. There is a section that shows you the amount of gems that are joining your accounts. So it'll show you in rank. I had a lot of past users join this specific account this month. I'm going to now go and try to create some kind of groundswell movement to get this account a little bit hotter. So if you have not checked out our dashboards yet, definitely you should. If you are confused on where they live, you can reach out to your customer success manager, or you can reach out to me. Jack, it is not crazy. They're new. We released our dashboards over the summer. So if you have not seen your dashboard yet, it could just be that it has not been configured yet, but they might not have been made access to you. So Jack and Keith, they are pre-built. If you could reach out to me with your company name after this, and we'll get you some of those dashboards. You can all, I've had 3 CSMs. We love that. Keith, I think we have met before, so I will reach out to you. In terms of the access, if you want to look for them, they're in dashboards, all UserGems, and they should show up. If they don't, someone call me, someone LinkedIn me. Keith, I will reach out to you. Are these new reports? They are new. We released these over the summer. They are pre-built dashboards in one of our newer editions of the package. You might need to upgrade. So again, reach out to your customer success manager. If you're interested in these dashboards, they're pre-built. You might just need to make a couple edits depending on like how you categorize high priority, because again, they're pre-built as buyer persona matching and joint customer or a joint target account. There was a message about Groove earlier, and I'd like to talk about it. We do not have a timeline on a Groove integration. Currently, we are not taking on another sales engagement integration in the near future. However, there are really great workflows that you can build from Salesforce to Groove, and our team can help with that. So basically, building if this criteria is true in Salesforce, put them in a Groove. I think they're called sequences. You can do that. It's just unfortunate we're not going to be taking on a Groove integration soon. However, we can definitely talk through it. We do have a few Groove customers. It's not out of the question for next year. See, I wish I saw these responses about asking for referrals. Uncomfortable. I agree with who said that one. But try it. Maybe if everyone can take one thing away today, try to ask for a referral and try to be specific with who you're wanting a referral to. We've tried this both ways, and I think that might be the less awkward and also more successful route to take. Clary acquiring Groove was really cool. And I agree with you. I think, Aaron, we're going to be seeing more Groove customers too. It's definitely not off the table for the future. And it's something I think that we could definitely start considering on our roadmap for next year. Yes, Lattice, I have you, Lattice, don't worry. I'll talk to Zach. Awesome. I think I got everyone.
We have some questions in the Q&A.
Okay.
One is, do we have a specific playbook for older job changes, which I think is a great question.
We should, or at least we had at one point. I'm bringing up the playbooks link, Amber. What I will say is, if it's not on our website, the only difference that we made is removing the congratulations part, and also the screenshot in the slide that I showed is part of that playbook. And then refer for free. Yeah, it's tough. Sometimes you can even get away with like a coffee incentive. But you can always try it with the referrals. Do you have a user testing Salesforce dash? I'm assuming this is like a Salesforce dashboard for user testing. We'll reach out to you. I think anyone who requests a dashboard, I will have your CSM reach out. Because we get a list of these, right, Amber? Like the chats? Or can we make? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool. We are at time. Thank you everyone for coming and being so engaged. Gong Engage is not on the roadmap right now. Gong Engage is very interesting. I will say that it's probably not going to be on our roadmap anytime soon. But no promises here. We'll definitely make note of like how many of our customers are using Gong Engage as they start ramping. I think they're still pretty small right now with that product. Cool. Yeah, thanks everyone. For everyone that I've met before, it was nice to see you again. For everyone else, we do these once a month, so please come back. We love to do these, and we like to share what we're learning. As we use UserGems here, we like to share everything that we learn with all of you.
Yeah, so everyone will get a recording and the slides as well, so that you'll have all this information. So thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye all.